She stepped out of a painting, a work of art of you. Walking to me is amazing. I really admire you. Long as you here.
Hey babes, and welcome back to another nail art tutorial. I'm Amber Giovanni, and I'm going to be bringing you this Megan Lisa nail art tutorial to help beginner nail tech or just artists in general to be inspired and to try new things in their art. So we're going to get right into it today. As you can see, we're starting off by me just sanding off the gloss top of each of these press-on nails. And now I'm taking some alcohol and I'm wiping those clean. You want to do this because it's going to allow your gel polishes to stick better to the surface of your nails. So definitely don't miss that step. Now here I'm just taking a regular mechanical pencil and I'm showing you guys how I align the press-on nails using my fingers to glide them close together or further apart to sketch out where each portion of the design is going to go, from the head, the neck, and the shoulders. For this specific nail design, I knew I wanted her directly in the center, so that is what I'm sketching out in between these three nails. Thirdly, your next step you're going to take is siphoning out each color that you're going to use for this specific design. So when I'm doing portraits, I always go with red, yellow, and blue because those are the primary colors, and I can mix those with any other color to create a lighter, darker, or custom color for the design that I'm working on. And as you can see here, that's exactly what I did with the red and white to create this base for her mouth. I started off with the mouth because I just wanted to have the spacing right for her face with as big as I was going to make it. As you can see here, I'm also going along those lines I created in pencil, marking out her nose and her eyes. Now I am beginning to just line the face and fill in the spaces where the highlighted portion of the portrait will be.
Alex Epps. Take a look inside your heart. Is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee because.
And as a reminder, I just wanted to let you babes know that this video is sped up, that this is not in real time, and overall, from start to finish, it took me about 9 hours and 30 minutes to complete this nail design. And as you'll see in the video, it was not all in one setting. My nails had changed multiple times throughout the video, I believe, and I created each different portion of the nail in different segments. So the first portion I started off with was Megan as the centerpiece of the design. Then I carried on and went to the thumb and then completed the background images for the rest of the design, and it was pretty much a wrap from there. So take that into account, that this is not for the weak-hearted, but also that it doesn't have to be done in one segment. Another thing to take into account is that yes, I am curing between each different portion of the design. So when I first created the lips and started doing the lighter lines and all of that, even to after I drew the black dots for her eyes, I cured at least for 10 seconds sometimes, but majority of the time 30 seconds, just to make sure it stayed in true. Yep. And that would be my recommendation to you all as well. In between those different layers and those different portions of each aspect of the design, make sure you're curing, especially if you really like it. I would hate for you to smash it, drop it, smudge it, something, and ruin all of your hard work. because this really is very diligent, to say the least. So yeah, as you can see here, the face is starting to come together a little bit. Definitely doesn't look female. Definitely, you know, given muscle tissue design. But just trust the process. I promise you, a person will become alive through your efforts. And now I'm going in with a bit of a warmer tone of brown to start to bring in those different edges of the face, the different contoured areas and darker portions of the face in this art piece. Now you want to start adding in your more finite details, like the lines around the eyes and the bottoms of the nose and things of that nature. And this is once again just going to give you more proportionality to the face, as well as uncovering those different aspects you're trying to bring out.
For me, would you ever picture us? Every time I pull my hair, was me
Anything I don't like, I'm just going back over, but I'm really just trying to carve out her face at this point in time by adding those light and dark shadows and building layer by layer on top of each other. Once I have this base layer filled in, I can start adding the second layer and more detail. And this part is really just self-explanatory. You're adding color, you're blending it out, you're carving out shapes, and you're making a face.
Shit that I shouldn't know. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cap. Saying he home, but I know where he at. Like, but he blowing her back. Think about me, cause he know that it's fat. Ain't it been what it been? Calling his phone like yo, send me a pin. Look at my shit, cause he know what I'm on. But when he hit me, I'm not gonna respond. But I don't sleep enough without you. And I can't eat enough without you. If you don't speak, does that mean we're through? Don't like sneaky shit that you do.
boys a liar, boys a liar. He doesn't see us. You're not making money, boy. Boys a liar, boys a liar. He doesn't see us.
As you just saw me do, I will apply a color and it'll be too dark and I'll have to just take it down a notch. I'll switch to my blender brush and I'll blend that out a bit using that brush, and then go back in with my detailer brush. Because this is such a small design, I'm working with very small elements in this nail design, I decided to use my detailer brush. A lot of times I use my 9mm liner brush though to create art designs. And I don't usually switch between brushes during an art piece just because I like the way one performs over the other, and I'll just generally use it for the whole entire art piece. Because I wanted to create such small brush strokes and the feel that this was a real painting, I decided to go with this brush because I knew I could get the smallest brush strokes in and the most accuracy as well. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let you babes sit and watch the process, take notes, see what I'm doing, see how I am not afraid to correct something, to go back over something. Just because you cured something does not make it final, and that's why I suggest those small light strokes to guide you into your final destination. Okay, I'm just gonna let you babes watch for a second and we can chat.
He say that I'm good enough. Cover my think about shit that I shouldn't know. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cap. Saying he home, but I know where he at.
So I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. And all I did right there was just outline the top portion of her hair and did a little swoop as far as a little baby hair, just to make sure that my spacing of her forehead and hairline were appropriate. And then I'm just going in and adding finite details, the underpinnings of her nose, the outline of her mouth, and I'll add some more color into her face as I go along. But I definitely just wanted to get these details down so that I can start to see the face more myself as well.
Alex Epps. Take a look inside your heart. Is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee, because you only want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us? Every time I pull my hair out, was me out of fear that you'll find me ugly and one day you'll disappear. 'Cause the point of crying, it was never even now. Did you ever want me? Was I ever good enough? Good boy's a liar. Good boy's a liar. He doesn't see ya. You're not looking at me, boy. Good boy's a liar. Good boy's a liar. He doesn't see ya. You're not looking at me, boy.
And honestly, babe, the best way to learn something such as art is definitely by just visually seeing how someone draws and trying to implement those strokes and those techniques into your own art. So that's the best way that I teach, is through visual learning. That's why I recorded the whole process so you guys can see from start to finish the steps that I took in order to get the results that I got. The color blending, the outlining, the layering of the gel, the blending the gel out. This is just everything you want to do when you're painting portrait style on nails. And now that we got the business out the way, let's get to the chat. Ooh, the Megan and Nicki beef. Like, I haven't even been on here. I have not posted another tutorial to voice my feelings about this. Like, I love both of them, so that's gonna be number one, set by me. I know I have all Nicki Minaj videos, tutorials so far on my channel, and now I'm putting out this Meg tutorial, and it's like, oh, you know, what side is she on? Is she switching up? And it was never a switch up or a side to be on, because I love them both, and they make too much money for me to be in the middle of their beef. So until the bands start banning on a mogul type, Nicki, Megan type level, this merbabe's just gonna mind her business and love on them both. So peace and blessings to Nicki, peace and blessings to Meg. Yes, I'm a fan of both girlies. So don't make me choose. But you can comment below and let me know, you know, your take on the whole situation. If you do have a favorite, if you don't have a favorite like me, that's cool. We're here for both on this channel. So yes, don't come with any hate about Meg, and don't come with any hate about Nicki. And just even on a more positive, upbeat note, it's Hot Girl Summer Tour going on right now. How many baddies have went out to go see Meg live in concert? Lucky you. I'm living vicariously through all of you hotties, because wish I could, but I can't, and that's fine.
But maybe one day I'll go see her in concert. Just not this year. We have way too much going on. Like, when I say plate is full, okay? Yeah. But I'm just using the basic outline that I drew from that first sketch to continue and building upon it. That's where her hair came from. That's where her neck is coming from now. And I'm just filling in that stenciling that we made in the beginning and extending the design and just, trying to work on more elements at one time. I will say that a lot of times that's what slows me down. I work on one portion of the design at a time, and it takes a bit longer that way than if I cohesively worked across the board on different portions of the design, of the whole design at one time. You can break it down into either way that better suits you and better suits, your mind's eye. This is what works for me. But, feel free to switch up which steps you take first, as far as whether you create the background first and then go for this centerpiece, or create the centerpiece first and then do the background how I usually do. It's just all up to you. And find your go-to. Play around with it, see what you like.
Another thing I want to mention here is, as you can see in the background, I haven't added any more new colors. I've just been mixing all of the existing colors to create different shades for the face, different undertones. And you can see that really playing out here, because now that we're adding these upper layers to the painting, those pink undertones are still there, coming up ever so slightly. Those lighter undertones are still there, giving the effects of a highlight underneath that contour.
Alex, Epps. Take a look inside your heart. Is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee, because you only want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us? Every time I pull my hair, was me out of fear. You'll find me ugly, and one day you'll disappear. 'Cause the point of crying, it was never even now. Did you ever want me? Was I ever good enough? Good boy's a liar. Good boy's a liar. He doesn't see ya. You're not looking at me, boy. Good boy's a liar. Good boy's a liar. He doesn't see ya. You're not looking at me, boy.
I hope you guys can see, and this is a reason why I just zoomed in right here, that with every stroke, with every line, I'm just trying to bring more definition into the image, make everything a more complete picture, to bring her face out more, add more definitions to her hair, and just continue to build those layers to bring out the one and the only Megan Thee Stallion. Yes.
Think about me 'cause you know that it's fact. Ain't it been what it been? Pulling his phone like you'll send me a pin. Look at my shit 'cause you know what I'm on. But when he hit me, I'm not gonna respond. But I don't sleep enough without you, and I can't eat enough without you. If you don't speak, does that mean we're through? Don't like sneaky shit that you do.
Good boy's a liar. Good boy's a liar. He doesn't see ya. You're not looking at me, boy. Good boy's a liar.
So I went ahead and finished that up, and I took a break, took a step back to see what we had done so far, see how we were liking the progress. We loved it, so we continued. I added a few bit more details to her face, but I was pretty much satisfied with the overall look of her face, and I wanted to start on the body. So I began to outline the robe that she's wearing and the imagery, and began to outline the hard edges so that I could really captivate the flow of the gown against her body as I began painting.
Alex, Epps. Take a look inside your heart. Is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee, because you only want to hold
Since this is portrait style art, we want to still incorporate the different layers and tones of skin, especially in art like this. So that is why, once again, we're starting off with that very light layer, and we're gonna build on top of that for her chest area. And I did already go ahead and add the contour into where her neck would sit and her neckline would sit, because I kind of wanted to buff those out and cover those up a bit. And as you can see here, that's exactly what it does. Even though I still go back over those things to make sure it's pretty seamless all together.
He say that I'm good enough. Cover my think about shit that I shouldn't know. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl
And I'm pretty sure it was here where I started to get pretty excited, because I was like, ooh, okay, like this is really starting to look like Meg, and I love it. And I was completely here for it. So that gave me even more gusto to, you know, be diligent in finishing her up.
and I can't eat enough without you. If you don't speak, does that mean we're through? Don't like sneaky shit that you do.
And I'm going in here and adding more shading to her neck and her chest area to really just add depth to the image at large. I'm not sure if you babes know or not, but she's actually dropping another album on the 28th of June. And I'm excited. The artwork for it was like really, I guess it was on brand for her, because, you know, she's the cobra, the snake theme, the hiss and all that. So yeah, you know, it's her being born out of a shell, and all her goo and ooze on her and this, that, and the third. And she had the claws. She had actual claw nail tips on. And I was thinking about recreating that design. And I'm like, should I do it or should I not? It's going to look so weird, you guys. But I may end up doing the dinosaur claw nail look. Yeah, just to try it. Tell me what y'all think below. Should I do it or should I not? And did you guys see the cover art? Did you like it? Are y'all planning on tuning in? Like I said, if you're a hottie, if you're a hot girl, you know, let me know down below how you're loving this tutorial. And if you are loving this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more nail art by me. Now that we laid the outlining foundation for this robe or whatever she's wearing, I'm just going to go ahead and start to build those layers to fill it in. I believe I used about 2 layers of this Apres nail color, and it really did the job in captivating, you know, that off-white linen, that delicate draping off of her shoulder. I definitely loved it. And after I added the brown details for the shading, it really came together. And so, yep, you see me here just filling that in. And I am doing that in the same directionality in which I want the gown to appear to be laying once again. So really having those brush strokes to match that pattern will allow it to kind of form itself without putting too much effort. As I build these layers up, I just want to touch on the fact that nothing will be perfect the first time you do it, and the more you do something, the better you'll get at it. So if you're having trouble with your art, if you think, you know, you're no good or you're not good enough, just keep going, just keep practicing. The more you do it, the better you'll get, the more things you'll learn as you go along in the process. And stay tuned, subscribe to more pages such as this one to bring you in-depth video on what it really takes to draw like this on nails. To finish, I'm also here for those, and I'll also be here for you to watch those kind of videos. So yeah, guys, it does help if you let me know in the comments or in the community tab what videos you like to see, what celebrities maybe you want to see me paint next, or what art style you like the best, so I can try to bring you more of those videos. But yeah, so far I'm just going to paint whatever motivates me that week, paint whatever, you know, my heart is into, and hopefully you guys continue to like the art and continue to like the designs. You just watched me finish up the black to her hair, but now I'm just going to mix a medium shade of brown with that white color we used for the robe, well, off-white color we used for the robe, to make a shadow color that would best help define the gown that she's in. And I'm just going to continue to build upon shadows to cast depth into her outfit. As you see, I started off with that one hump, and from there we carved out a collar, and I'll just continue to add in small lines and small shapes to bring a bit of depth to the outfit. Now, in the actual depiction of the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, she's wearing some, you know, cute little Renaissance gown or whatever. But I just thought, like, this was so cute. It gave it a little modern feel, even though I want it to be Renaissance-y. That's the 1500s. And it was a time where the two most famous artworks in history were painted. So that's just some fun facts about the Mona Lisa. I never too much cared for the painting itself. I would love to go to the Louvre in Paris and to see it in person though, and then really make my assessment after, you know, I took it in all of its glory or whatever. But I definitely think my Megan Lisa definitely could go toe-to-toe with the Mona Lisa. That's just me, though. Looking back on this art piece, I do wish that I would have took a little bit more time with it, that I wouldn't have rushed so much to just get it out, and blended things a little bit better, had better proportionality on things like her neck and just different aspects of the design such as that. But overall, really captivated with the whole thing and in love with the whole thing as well. Another pro tip is that you want to keep realigning each press-on closer to one another so that you can determine whether your lines are continuously lining up on each tip.
Now that I'm satisfied with how she's looking, I'm ready to start with the background for the thumb. I grabbed my color palette because we're ready to add some more colors. So this is all from one line. They're all Apres colors that I'll be using today, and they will all be listed down below. I'm also using some VBP paint pods that I'm mixing up together to create this authentic sagey sky blue color or whatever that I was going for in the background of the Mona Lisa. The technique I used for the thumb was to just start at the top and work my way all the way down until there was one full completed painting. So as you can see here, I'm starting off with the background, which is a bit of a light sage green color, but I realized it was too bright for the imagery I'm trying to capture. So I did take a darker green and went ahead and covered up the lightness of the green I already applied, just so that we can get a bit better of a color gradient along the background of the trees that you will see me draw shortly. I already sketched out where the lining of the trees would be, and I'm just going to bring my green down to that size, continuing to mix the colors and make a gradient in the sky to make it really look like it is a sky. Next, I'm going to insert an image so you guys can see the landscaping background that I'm truly trying to capture in this thumbnail. Okay, and as you guys just saw, not everything is drawn to the finiteness of details. It's supposed to look visually far away and kind of aloof in the background of the image of her, which is perfectly fine. I thought that would be a pretty easy task to accomplish because, like I said, nothing had true definition to it. So I'm kind of just going with the flow of the imagery and trying to blot out the different scenes and sections, which was basically the sky, the trees in the background, the lake, and then the cliff that kind of turns into a stream. And I did have to do some research for this part, you guys. If you're not new here and you've seen my artwork before, you know that I typically do not paint landscapes, and that's what this was, a landscaping design. So I basically had to inquire from some artists who usually paint landscapes to let me know some of their tips and tricks when painting landscapes. So now I can indulge you babes with those tips and tricks that I learned. So the first tip is that when you're painting things that are supposed to be seemingly far in the distance, you want to use cooler tones. So that's going to be your lightest tones possible. And that's what you see me doing right here to the top of these trees, making there the lightest thing possible as far as the gradient of the tree you see in the distance. So we start off light at the top, but as we go down the imagery or we get towards the things that are supposed to appear closer, we want to use darker tones. We really want to start to define edges, and this is going to give us that effect that will allow everything to appear as if it is gradually getting closer. I'm going to begin to draw the river now, but once again, we only had that one blue color that we originally dropped at the beginning of our painting session here. So I just added 2 more blues, once again, good old faithful Apres. And with those different blues, I was able to go in and create a really good degradation or gradient of colors in that blue that allowed it to really look like
the living waters, running waters, a beautiful running stream. Another pro tip with the painting of the river, you want to once again make those coolest tones in the back of the river, or the part that's going to appear the lightest is going to seem the most furthest away. And you want to, as it gets closer to you, make sure those tones get a little deeper, get a little darker. I will have to go in and widen this river based off of the imagery of the Mona Lisa. And just once again, go back in with the blue several different times to create those different streaks of lines and color gradation to make it seem as if it is a real river. Babes, I also want to mention, maybe someone noticed, maybe someone did not, that once I started working on this thumbnail, I did switch to my 9mm liner brush. Once again, that's my 9mm liner brush that I usually use with all of my caricature artwork and anything line work. Honestly, I also use this brush.
Good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us? Every time I pull my hair, was me out of fear. You find me ugly, and one day you'll disappear. 'Cause the point of crying, it was never even now. Did you ever want me? Was I ever good enough? Good boy's a liar. Good boy's a liar. He doesn't see ya. You're not looking at me, boy. Good boy's a liar. Good boy's a liar. He doesn't see ya. You're not looking at me, boy.
At this time, I'm just going to be using color degradation and different colors to create the illusion of a cliff, making sure that you can tell the different components of the rock from when it goes to be a little bit further away by the river to turning into a stream coming towards the end of the nail. I'm not too concerned about the bottom and the edges because I knew I was gonna put a frame around these nails to really give that Mona Lisa feel, as if it was a real piece of artwork, and encapsulate the design like that. So I wasn't too big about the bottom of the nail because I knew it was going to be covered up, but I wanted to make sure all the portions that were going to be seen looked and felt seamless in the incorporation of this design. So you babies are just going to watch me work and create that in this Megan Lisa portrait style nail art design. So I had a lot of earth tones at the bottom, but I didn't have the exact ones I need, so I just pulled out another yellow and another orange to try to create the one that I was more so going for. So these are some gelish polishes that I used, mixed up with some ones I already had, and just try to create a better color to really give the feel that I was going for and the look that I was going for.
Inside your heart, is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee. Because you only want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us? Every time I pull my hair, was me out of fear. You find me ugly, and one day you'll disappear. 'Cause the point of crying, it was never even now. Did you
It took me a minute with the bottom half of this nail art design to really encapsulate the look and feel of a cliff. But after a while and a couple of passes of trying different colors, I do truly feel that I was able to capture that look here.
He say that I'm good enough. All my think about shit that I shouldn't have. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cap. Saying he home, but I know where he at. Like, but he blowing her back. Think about me, cause he know that it's fat. Ain't it been what it been? Calling his phone like, yo, send me a pin. Look at my shit, cause he know what I'm on. But when he hit me, I'm not gonna respond. But I don't sleep enough without you. And I can't eat enough without you. If you don't speak, does that mean we're through? Don't like sneaky shit that you do.
At this point, I was pretty satisfied with the look, but of course we gotta take videos to make sure and then size it up with our other press-ons to make sure it's giving what it's supposed to have gave. So now that we're all finished with that, I just took some Mary Kay top coat, matte top coat, and applied it to the top of our nail. Another reference photo for perspective, and as you can see, she turned out damn near pretty close to the original.
So we bust out the aluminum foil so we will have some more space to add color since our palette was already pretty full. And I added some VBP all black gel polish, and this is going to be the base of our chrome effects on our nails today. And right here, I just wanted to include the process of me trying to figure out whether I wanted to do a design along the edges or just keep it straight. After looking at it, I just decided that it would be better and you would be able to see more of the design if I did do the straight edge lining as part of the portrait. So that's what I ended up doing, is just keeping it straight across all edges so that you could see the most of the design, but also you could still get that portrait-y effect as if it was in its own frame.
And this part is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll explain anyway. I'm just going over each side with a pure straight black line, just creating a base for our chrome to lay on top of and look very golden and very shiny.
Think about shit that I shouldn't have. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cap. Saying he home, but
Now that that's done, I'm taking my Kiara Sky non-wipe top coat, also applying that to the aluminum foil, just so I'll be able to get a good wallop on my brush here and go over those black lines I just created with that clear gel polish. I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds and then begin to rub the chrome on the thumb where I just applied the clear gel. And I'm just taking some regular nail supply chrome, and at my beauty supply store it's a 05 baby, okay? And at this time I didn't have a little eyeliner brush, so I went ahead and applied it with my finger and it worked pretty well. But after this, I decided to find an eyeshadow brush just because I wanted to make it, you know, as crisp and cute as possible. I did use my cleaner brush to clean up the edges with alcohol to just clean up all of that chrome. And then you see there's some spots where there is no chrome or it's just not lined up properly. So I go back in with that clear gel right over top of where I just laid it, cured it again for 30 seconds, and came back in with the eyeshadow brush and applied that chrome directly on top. This gave better results for me, and as well as it was easier to clean up since I didn't have any more chrome all over my fingertips.
Is there any room for me? I would
So now that I'm satisfied with the edges on all 4 sides, I'm once again going back over with that chrome, and this time we'll top coat for 60 seconds, and that'll give us our finished look. After we got that finished result, I'm just wiping the surface off with alcohol so we can go in and start our lettering. I knew that I wanted to put some type of writing or script on the thumbnail to really give that like graffiti look in an art museum, real urban, real cute, real still like street classy wear. Yeah, that was the ideal behind it. So as you can see here, I just use my 9mm liner brush to once again go in and create that scripting of the hood Mona Lisa. I didn't like the I in Lisa and I didn't like the A in Mona. So as you can see, I just go back over those 2 twice. And then I begin on the background of my other nails.
But he blowing her back. Think about me cause he know that it's fact. Ain't it been what it been? Calling his phone like yo send me a pin. Look at my shit cause he know what I'm on. But when he hit me I'm not gonna respond. But I don't sleep enough without you. And I can't eat enough without you. If you don't speak does that mean we're through? Don't like sneaky shit that you do.
Boy's a liar. Boy's a liar. He doesn't see her. You're not looking at me, boy. Boy's a liar. Boy's a liar. He doesn't see her. You're not looking at me, Alex Epps. Take a look inside your heart. Is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on
After I went and got the sky right, I finally went in to begin to work on those trees. As you can see, I'm using my darker colors in the front and my cooler tones in the back to create that faraway illusion. And then I'll begin to work on the different elements of the portrait, of the landscape in the back. And this nail was so much easier than the thumb, just because once again, look at her shoulder, like look at it, it's literally right there. I have barely any room to paint a background, so that was really nice that I didn't have to paint a full landscape as like on the thumbnail. It made it a lot easier, and I think I did a pretty good job with this one too. I periodically put the nail back on the rack with the other 5 nails just to make sure that the trees are aligned in the background and that the river is also aligned with the river from the thumbnail.
Think about shit that I shouldn't have. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cap. Saying he home, but I know where he at. Like, but he blowing her back. Think about me cause he know that it's fact. Ain't it been what it been? Calling his phone like yo send me a pin. Look at my shit cause he know what I'm on. But when he hit me I'm not gonna respond. But I don't sleep enough without you. And I can't eat enough without you. If you don't speak does that mean we're through? Don't like sneaky shit that
get down on one knee because you really want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever be?
Now I do my last looks to make sure everything lines up and looks good, and I'll begin on the next nail. This one was by far the easiest because I just had to incorporate that sky in the background. And there was a hair in there. I just went ahead and pulled that out. I believe I was like running low on this specific color, but I wanted to use the last little bit that I had. That's why it looks a little bit dry and it's taking a little bit longer to fill in the space.
He say that I'm good enough, but I'm not good enough. Think about shit that I shouldn't know. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cap. Saying he home, but I know where he at. Like, but he blowing her back. Think about me 'cause he know that.
3 nails down, 2 to go. Yes, I remember being very excited at this part because I had been working on this design for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before I even completed her. As you guys have seen, like my nails have changed multiple times, and I'm just trying to get her done at this point because I'm ready to see the finished product. But yeah, I'm working on the last little bit of filler for the third and final nail that completes the front portrait of Megan. And once again, don't have a lot of space to work with, which is good for us. And we're just filling that in to the best of our abilities, still trying to incorporate the background from the original Mona Lisa into the design.
Alex Epps. Take a look inside your heart. Is there any room for me? I would have to hold my breath till you get down on one knee because you really want to hold me when I'm looking good enough. Did you ever fool me? Would you ever picture us? Every time I pull my hair out, was me out of fear that you'll find me ugly and one day you'll disappear. 'Cause the point of crying, it was never even now. Did you ever want me? Was I ever good enough? Good boy's a liar. Good boy's a liar. He doesn't see her. You're not looking at me, boy. Good boy's a liar. Good boy's a liar. He doesn't see her. You're not looking at me, boy.
And babes, we are finally on our last nail here of the portrait. Yay! I'm very excited. I was like, oh, let me get this one out the way, y'all. Yeah, we were very excited to finish this pinky nail here and frame it all up. As you can see, I'm just going ahead and building the background. I know the sky goes on top. We got some gravel at the bottom, and I'm just laying different elements here, trying to get the whole thing done in one swift movement. For real, guys. I'm pretty sure I was like over it at this point. But I always finish my designs, and even if it takes me a while, I'll definitely circle back and come back to it. I don't like leaving designs undone, and a lot of the times too, I can't go to another design until I get the one that's in my head out of my head. And so because she was in my head for the longest and I had wanted to
been get this out. Definitely put the pedal to the metal with this nail. And I'm pretty sure this is the fastest nail I got out the way. Yeah. So that's what you see me doing here, finishing up this thumbnail. And as we're on the last nail, like, let's chat a bit more, babes. Like, I want to know, what's your favorite hot girl anthem? Which one is your favorite album thus far? Which one of Meg's personalities is your favorite thus far? Like, are you a Tina Snow girl? Are you a Mona Lisa girl? What are you? Let me know. If you've liked this video, if you enjoyed chatting with me and watching the process, please like and comment below, share, follow, subscribe, and come along for the art ride, because it's going to be a fun one. If this is what we're doing year 2 on this YouTube channel, then imagine year 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, okay? Yeah, it's just going to get even better, even more elaborate nail art designs. And I'm just here sharing my gifts with the world, praying that I inspire more people all around the world to be able to share their gifts, inspire, create, and serve, and just come together as one community, making the world a more beautiful and happier place to live in. Because period.
He say that I'm good enough, but I'm not good enough. Think about shit that I shouldn't have. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cap. Saying he home, but I know where he at. Like, but he blowing her back. Think about me, cause he know that it's fat. And it been what it been. Calling his phone like, yo, send me a pin. Look at my shit, cause he know what I'm on. But when he hit me, I'm not gonna respond. But I don't sleep enough without you. And I can't eat enough without you. If you don't speak, does that mean we're through? Don't like sneaky shit that you do.
Boy's a liar, boy's a liar. He doesn't see her. You're not looking at me, boy. Boy's a liar, boy's a liar. He doesn't see her. You're not looking at me,
As I began to finish up that pinky, I realized her hair had no definition in it. So I took some white and then I went along her hair, kind of blending it in and just adding some more definition to create waves and texture within her hair.
Alex.
And yeah, babes, now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Just applying the black lining that will be the outline for the frame to the portrait. I am adjusting those tip by tip and lining that up so that we can get an exacto match across all 5 nails. As you can see, I then went in and applied the same matte top coat from the thumb to the rest of the nails, and then finished making those black outlines. After I finish making the black outlines, I go ahead and apply my chrome polish once again, top coat, chrome again, and do the final top coat, and that'll bring us to our final product.
He say that I'm good enough, but I'm not good enough. Think about shit that I shouldn't have. So I tell him it's one of me. He making fun of me. His girl is a bum to me. Like that boy is a cap. Saying he home, but I know where he at. Like, but he blowing her back. Think about me, cause he know that it's fat. And it been what it been. Calling his phone like, yo, send me a pin. Look at my shit, cause he know what I'm on. But when he hit me, I'm not gonna respond. But I don't sleep enough without you. And I can't eat
And voila, babes, that completes the Megan Lisa nail art tutorial for this art design. Thank you for tuning in and sticking with me all the way until the end. Much love and appreciation. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed creating it.
She stepped out of a painting, her walk